today we are going to study ordinary differential equations by using numerical techniques, and in particular we study initial value problems. So what are initial value problems, or denoted by IVP? So these are usually some differential equations. Let us take first order differential equation dy by dt equal to f of ty, where y is dependent variable and t is independent variable, with one condition. So at t equal to t naught, solution is y naught, which is given. So any differential equation with one condition is known as initial value problem. So you know the solution at initial point t equal to t0. So to find y, you need to integrate this f, and as we have studied in numerical integration, this f can be function of two variables, and it is not always easy to integrate. So for example, if you have this f as e power minus t square, y square, etc., then this f is not easily integrable. So in this topic we will study numerical techniques to solve these initial value problems. So to solve the integral, we divide the domain into small points as we did in numerical integration. So starting point is t naught. Let us say this is A. Then take t1, then t2, and so on. So divide the domain into discrete set of points, and these points are called mesh or grid points. And for simplicity, you can take equal gap, which is h. So first point t naught is a starting point, which is A, and then t1 will be t naught plus h, and next point is t naught plus 2h, and so on. So in general, ti will be t naught plus ih, and these set of points and the solution at all these points. So solution at t naught is denoted by y naught, which is given, and solution at t1 is denoted by y1, and solution at next point is denoted by y2, and so on. So we will find solution at these discrete points by using numerical techniques. So before writing the solution formulas, since we are solving differential equations, so we will talk about existence of solutions. This means there exists a solution of differential equation and it is unique. And one definition which will be used later, it is called Lipset condition. So a function f is said to satisfy a Lipset condition in the variable y. Okay, if there exists a constant L and you write this difference, so what you write? ft y1 minus ft y2. So take two y, y1 and y2, and write this difference in term of y1 minus y2. You can make right hand side bigger, and there is no t in right hand side. So if you can write any function in this form, ft y1 minus ft y2, relate this difference with y1 minus y2. If you can do this, then we say that this function f satisfy a Lipschitz condition, and this constant L is called Lipschitz constant. And if you cannot write, then we say that function is not Lipschitz. So for example, I have written this function. So take fty equal to y square e power minus t square and sine t. Define on this domain. So this is just notation to write points in plane. So this is t, this is y. So point will be pair. So any point will be t comma y in R2, where t is free. So t can take any value. So t can take any value. Okay. If t is a time, then this will be positive, but so we are not restricting. T can take any value, but y is fixed from 0 to 2. So y is fixed from 0 to 2. So you have this domain. Okay. Y from 0 to 2. So this domain. And t can, so this is infinite strip. You can go up to infinity. And we need to show that this function whether satisfy Lipschitz condition or not. Okay, it's very easy. Just take 2 points in that domain t y1. T is variable, but take 2 different y1 and y2. Then write this difference ft y1 minus ft y2. Use the formula of f. Okay, y square e power minus t square sine t. Then write this and simplify this. Okay, you can take e power minus t square sine t outside. Then you got y1 square minus y2 square. This will be y1 plus y2 and y1 minus y2. Okay, and now you need this in right hand side. Okay, and make bigger right hand side. So you need to eliminate t and this sum y1 plus y2. So use their maximum value. Okay, so e power minus t square. Okay, maximum value of this will be 1. When t equal to 0, e power 0 is 1. Sin t is also 1. So e power minus t square sin t is maximum 1. What are y1 plus y2? So y remain from, so y is from 0 to 2. Okay. So y1 and y2 can take maximum value 2. So 2 plus 2, this is 4. So you can write this difference as 4 times y1 minus y2. So you are able to relate this difference with this. There is no t in right hand side. So we say that this function satisfies Lipschitz condition with constant L equal to 4. So in other words, this function is Lipschitz. So this condition is named after a famous mathematician, Seymour Lipschitz. So on Lipschitz, and Lipschitz has lot of contribution in theory of ordinary differential equation. And second example, we have taken fty equal to t mod y, and we need to check this condition on this interval. On this domain, t is from 1 to 2, okay, and y is from minus 3 to 4, and function is t mod y. So just take 2 points ty1 and ty2 in your domain. Domain means t from 1 to 2 and y from minus 3 to, so you have this situation. t is from 1 to 2, so this is t value, okay, and y is minus 3 to, so this is y value, okay, minus 3 to say 4. So what will be domain? Common points. So this will be like this. Go up to 4 and here up to minus 3. So this is minus 3. This is 4. So this region, rectangle region. So write fty1 minus fty2. So mod ty1 minus ty2. These are function values. You can take mod t outside. Then you got y1 minus y2. And maximum of mod t is 2. T is maximum from 0 to 2. So replace this mod t with 2. So we are able to relate this difference with y1 minus y2 with the constant. So we say that f satisfies a Lipschitz condition with the constant L equal to 2. Okay, so now we are able to state a theorem. So which is known as existence and uniqueness theorem, and we will not prove this theorem. Proof is very lengthy and usually it takes 2 lectures. So I'm not going to prove, I'm just stating this theorem. So you have IVP, that is given dy by dt equal to fty, that I written in ft of y. Okay, so with one condition, y at t naught, you know the solution at t naught, which is y naught. So we take this IVP, and so this is dy by dt, and this f is continuous, this f, okay, it is continuous, and t running from a to b and y running from minus infinity to plus infinity. So you can take any y, and f satisfy a Lipschitz condition that we stated earlier. So fty1 minus fty2 mod less than ly1 minus y2. So we have 2 conditions, okay, one continuity of f, first condition, and second Lipschitz in y, this condition. So f is continuous and it satisfies Lipschitz condition. Then the given IVP, this one, this problem has a unique solution in interval a to b. And what are a and b? These are t values. Okay. So this problem has a solution in a to b if f is continuous and it is Lipschitz. And we will study application of this theorem now. Question is that show that there is a unique solution of given initial value problem, and this y dash is of course dy by dt equal to 1 plus t sin ty, t running from 0 to 2, and y is not written here, so y is from minus infinity to plus infinity, any y, and y0 equal to 0 means at t naught is 0, okay, so bracket value, so this is t naught starting. At t naught solution is also 0. When t is 0, y is also 0. This is given. So to show unique solution, we need to check Lipschitz and continuity. And clearly f is, what is f? This is right hand side. What is fty equal to 1 plus t sin ty. So 1 is continuous, t is continuous, sine is continuous, ty is continuous, and sum and product of continuous function is also continuous. So fty is continuous clearly. So no need to check. Okay, it involves constant t and sine. So f is continuous. Now we check Lipschitz. Okay, so first condition is trivial, so continuity. Second is Lipset. So now we check Lipset. How we check? We take 2 points in domain ty1 and ty2, then write ty1 minus ty2. Okay, this is fty1, this is fty2. So one will cancel out. You can take mod t outside, sin ty1 minus sin ty2. So here we need to find y1 minus y2. Okay, so there is one theorem in maths which relate fb minus fa with b minus a. Okay, so function difference equal to x difference, that is mean value theorem. So holding t constant, we apply mean value theorem in variable y. So I am applying mean value theorem on sin ty, okay, on this function. So what this theorem says that this is mean value theorem in two variable. So just fb, so, or you can write fa sin ty1 minus sin ty2 equal to. So what is mean value theorem in two variable? Here partial derivative. In one variable you write fb, or you can write fa minus fb equal to f dash c a minus b. Okay, and take modulus on both sides. But in two variable, so same theorem is in two variable, so change y, y1, y2, fa minus fb, and if here f dash c will be replaced with partial derivative with respect to y, and then replace y with c or xi. So you can write c, tc. Okay, so partial derivative of sin ty with respect to y, sin will be cos and ty will be t. Y will, partial derivative of y with will be 1. And then replace y with c or xi. So t cos t c, and then y1 minus y2, a minus b. Okay, where c belongs to y1 and y2. I am writing c here. So okay, so now take maximum of right hand side. Maximum t is 2. So replace this t with 2. Cos maximum will be 1. Okay, so you got, okay, so sorry, you have, so there is, okay, so I am, okay, so fit this value here, go back, fty1 minus fty2. So 1 t is there, so t will be t square. Okay, so t square cos t xi, so t square will be 2 square, cos will be 1 maximum, and y1 minus y2. So you got 4 times y1 minus y2. So you were satisfy Lipset condition with the constant L equal to 4. Okay, and also as I stated earlier, f is continuous, it satisfies Lipset condition. So by that theorem, this problem has a unique solution, and unique solution from t 0 to 2. Okay, this means that you can solve this problem, and further that solution will be unique. In other words, this initial value problem is solvable. Okay, so now I move first classical method that is widely used, and that is the backbone of proving previous theorem. Method is called Picard's method. Okay, and this is an iterative method. Okay, and or other words, method of successive approximations. Okay, so we consider the same IVP, dy by dt equal to fty. T is any real number, and at t naught solution is y naught. Further, f is continuous. Okay, then the initial value problem can be written as So just integrate this. So, okay, how you integrate? Right, left hand side will be dy. Take dt in right hand side. Okay. Then ft y. Okay. Then dt, and integrate from starting point t naught to t. Okay. So here t naught to limits t naught to t. So here t naught to t, and left hand side when t equal to t naught. So beginning, so y will be y naught, and at t this is y at t. Okay, so integral of dy will be y. So yt, fit up upper limit yt minus y0. Take y0 in right hand side. So yt equal to y0 plus t naught to t ft yt dt. Okay, so you can write y0 or you can write this y0. So if this function is easily integrable, then you can find exact solution. But if it is not, then we will proceed with successive approximations. So what are successive approximation? So we start with non-solution, which is y0. I am writing y0 t equal to y0 starting point. Then successive approximations are, so put a label k plus 1 as we did in Newton, secant, etc. So okay, so in left hand side here. Okay, so here put a label left hand side y k plus 1 equal to y0 plus t naught to t. Okay, so you are putting t in limit here. So just replace t inside with the dummy variable s. Okay, s, then y at s or y at t, and in left hand side as we did in iterative, so put a label k plus 1, and in right hand side put a label less than k plus 1. So put a label k in right hand side. So here yks, then ds, and k is 0, 1, 2, etc. Okay, so we start with y0, then we compute approximations by using this formula, and this is known as method of successive approximations. Okay, and usually also we say that this is the integral form of initial value problem. This is also called integral form, as we replaced derivative and we perform the integration. Okay, this will be the basic. This form will be used later on. So in every method we use this integral form, or you can say precisely this is the integral form. Okay, without labels, this is integral form, and this is iterative integral form. Okay, so I am taking an example of Picard's method. So it is very easy to apply. So we have this problem, dy by dt equal to 1 plus dy, y at 0 is 1. Question is, firstly show that this fty, which is 1 plus ty, satisfy a Lipset condition from 0 to 2. Also find first 3 approximations of the solution using Picard's method. Okay, so we have this IVP, this is f 1 plus ty, y at 0 is 1, this means t naught starting point is 0. So y bracket value, this is t. Okay, and y is a function of t, so we write y at t. When t equal to 0, y is 1. So just check Lipset in usual way, compute fty1 minus fty2 and relate this difference with y1 minus y2. And you can see that this f satisfies a Lipset condition. Okay, so that we done earlier. So now I am moving to second part. Write 3 approximations using Picard's method that we are going to learn now. So how I write approximation? I start with known solution y0. What is y0? This is 1. y0 equal to 1. And what is starting t0? t0 is 0. Okay. So then write integral form of differential equation. This is integral form. Yt equal to, this is y0 which is 1. t0 which is 0. t0 to t. Function is f ty. So what is f ty? This is 1 plus ty. Okay. So this s is extra here. So by mistake this is done. So what is function? 1 plus t. Replace t with s. So 1 plus. So 1 plus sy. Okay. So 1 plus. This is by mistake. So 1 plus s y and ds. Okay. Then successive approximations are, first is y0 t equal to 1, which is y0. Then yk plus 1 equal to 1 plus 0 to t. So just replace left hand side y with yk plus 1 and right hand side y with yk. Okay. So just put label on both sides. And since you want to compute y, so y is in both sides, left and right. So this is not explicit relation. So first approximation y1. 1 plus 0 to t. Okay, so 1 plus s. Fit y0 here. y0 is 1. And integrate, this is in first approximation. Okay, then compute y2. 1 plus 0. 1 plus s. Then this is y1. So just fit y1 here. Okay. And replace t with s. So 1 plus s square by 2 ds. Just integrate, this is the final answer. Okay. Again, fit 1 plus s. So fit here and you can compute y3. Okay, so you can check that we have started with 1. Then solution 1 plus t square. And then addition of this term. And then addition of, in previous, addition of these two terms and so on. So what Picard's method is doing? This method captures term by term of series approximation of solutions. So let us take some simple example. If our problem has a solution, say exponential power t. Okay. So what is exponential Taylor series expansion? 1 plus t plus t square by 2, etc. And so on. So what Picard's method is doing? So we started with 1, then you got t, 1 plus t, and then you got 1 plus t square by 2 and so on. And this is the base of method. So we started with initial condition, that is non-solution. Then we capture term by term of series approximation of solutions using Picard's method. And this method is iterative method and usually known as method of successive approximations. And of course this is symbolic. So we are writing solution in t, and this is not a numerical method, so you cannot write a program for this. This is just theoretical method, you can say, and you have to find these approximations by hand. And next I will move to Taylor series method. So this is also a basic method based on Taylor series, and we have this IVP dy by dt equal to FTY, same IVP we have. And what Taylor series is doing, so as you know solution at T naught, which is we know from something, some conditions, which is Y naught. So use this solution to find solution at another point. Okay, and you know that you can write a function in a neighborhood by writing a Taylor series. So we start with same known point T naught, and then we find solution at T1, which is, say, this is Y1, by using Taylor series, and then we move further. Use this solution to find solution at point T2, which is denoted by Y2, by writing a Taylor series. So in general, I take ith point Ti, so you can take T1, T2, any point Ti. So what will be Yti plus H? This will be Fa plus H equal to Fa, H, F dash A, okay, and so on. So what will be Yti plus H? Y at Ti plus H, Y dash at Ti plus H square by 2, Y double dash at Ti, and so on. And if you stop at some point, you add error term. Okay, so if you write Taylor series up to, say, first derivative, and then we say that this is first order method, and if you write series up to second derivative, then you say that second order method, and so on. So if we stop at pth derivative, then error will be of order p plus 1. Okay, so if you cut series at p, and of course Taylor series is an infinite series, so you have to stop at some point. So if you stop at pth derivative, then we say that order of method is p, and you can apply this method on this example. So here I am writing, so y dash equal to x square y minus 1. So you see x here. So this is differential equation in x variable. So dy by dx equal to this. This is fxy. Okay. Don't be consistent with notation. Just replace t with x here. So y0 means when x0 equal to 0, starting 0, then y0 is 1. So by writing Taylor series of order 4 means write Taylor series up to fourth derivative with gap 0.1, find y at 0.1 and 0.2. Okay, so first start from 0. So you have x0 equal to 0 as I written earlier. Okay, so what is Taylor series? So just write the formula yxi plus h, yxi plus up to fourth order. Okay, so then fit every value on right hand side. So y at xi, so start with 0. So y0 is 1. Okay, then h y dash. So compute y dash. Y dash is this x square y minus 1. Okay. So in this formula fit x equal to 0 and y equal to 1 initial value. Okay, and from this y dash you need to compute y double dash. So just differentiate once, that will be y double dash, then compute y triple dash, then again differentiate, then again differentiate. So first compute all derivatives up to fourth, then compute all derivative by fitting x equal to 0 and initially y equal to 1. So okay, so here replace x equal to 0, y equal to 1 initially. So compute all derivative at 0. Then write Taylor series and fit all values on right hand side, and this will be the value of y at 0.1. Okay, so I have just done one calculation. Similarly, you can compute y 0.2. Okay, and when you compute y 0.2, just write the same series and again all derivative will be computed at x equal to 0.1. So although this is the basic method and we will use further, but this is very difficult, and you can say this is not a computer friendly method, and we hardly use Taylor series method to write approximations. This is just beginning and base of other methods. Okay, so by writing Taylor series you can compute solution at different point starting from known value. And one thing you have to remember later on, that what is order of method. Order means you are cutting series at some derivative, so cutting point. So if you are cutting series at third derivative, then order will be 3. If you cut series at fourth derivative, then order will be 4th. So in next numerical method we will compute solution at different points, but we will not use those derivatives. So we will get rid from these derivatives. Okay, and those are actually numerical methods that we will study in next lecture.